Today, we're going to dive into 5 super simple habits that can totally boost your own well-being and, at the same time, the health of our planet. It's all about living a better life naturally. So, let's jump right in.
I really want to start with this question because it gets right to the core of everything. You know, we often think that sustainability means giving things up, right? A sacrifice. But what if it's the total opposite? What if it's actually an upgrade? What if these choices lead to a healthier home, tastier food, and just a simpler, better life? Let's find out. So, what does a nature-oriented lifestyle even mean? Look, it's not about moving into a cabin in the woods or anything. It's just about making small, conscious choices every day that work with nature, not against it. And the best place to start? It's right where we spend most of our time, our homes. Our homes are our sanctuaries, right? So making just a couple of small shifts here can have this huge positive impact on our own health and on the environment. We're going to look at 2 key habits that start the second you walk through your front door. Okay, our first habit starts with the very fabric of our lives, and I mean that literally. The clothes we wear, the sheets we sleep on. Simply choosing natural fibers instead of synthetic ones is a small switch with a massive impact. Now, what's really fascinating here is the story behind these 2 lists. On the left, you've got materials that come from the earth and can go right back to it. You know, they're part of a natural cycle. But on the right, synthetics like polyester have a pretty big secret. Every single time you wash them, they shed these tiny invisible things called microplastics. In fact, get this, research shows a single load of laundry can release over 700,000 of these plastic fibers right into our water. So choosing natural fibers isn't just about style, it's about cleaner water for all of us. All right, let's talk about keeping our homes clean. Habit number 2 is all about swapping out those really harsh, chemical-heavy cleaners for things that are simpler, safer, and, trust me, just as effective. This is probably one of the easiest and most satisfying changes you can make. And this is a perfect example of that amazing dual benefit we were talking about. When you use simple stuff like vinegar and baking soda, you're creating a toxin-free home for yourself and your family. But it doesn't stop there. Everything that goes down your drain eventually ends up in our rivers and oceans. So a cleaner home for you literally means cleaner water for the whole planet. Okay, we've tidied up inside our homes. Now let's step outside. These next few habits are all about how our choices out in the world, as shoppers, as eaters, as part of a community, can make a real difference. This habit is so much more than just remembering your reusable shopping bag. It's a whole mindset shift. It's about consciously moving away from a throwaway, single-use culture to one where we're intentional, where we come prepared to not create waste in the first place. And breaking it down makes it so easy. Step 1, just get your little kit together. A water bottle, a bag, maybe some cutlery. Simple. Step 2, this is the key. Put it somewhere you absolutely cannot forget it, right by the door, in your car, whatever works. Make it a non-negotiable part of leaving the house, just like your phone and your keys. Then step 3 is where the magic happens. You can start politely saying, no thanks to single-use stuff, because you've already got your own. Okay, this next one is one of my personal favorites, because it connects us directly to the seasons and to our local communities. What we decide to put on our plates has a huge effect on the planet. And, not gonna lie, a pretty delicious effect on our meals. To really get why this matters so much, we have to talk about something called food miles. Just think for a second about eating a strawberry in the middle of winter. That little berry probably traveled thousands of miles on a plane or a truck just to get to you. Have you ever thought about that? The bottom line is, every single mile burns fuel and creates emissions. So cutting down those miles is a really powerful way to shrink your carbon footprint. And just look at the amazing benefits. First off, for you, the food is picked when it's perfectly ripe, so it's way fresher and packed with more flavor and nutrients. For your community, you're putting money directly into the pockets of local farmers. And for the planet, you're slashing those food miles and usually cutting down on a ton of plastic packaging. It's a win-win-win. So we've talked about what comes into our homes and how we act when we're out in the world. This final section is all about what goes out. It's about closing the loop and thinking about our waste in a much more conscious, nature-friendly way. This one is a total game changer. Instead of seeing things like apple cores, veggie scraps, and coffee grounds as just trash that's headed for a landfill, this habit asks us to see them for what they really are, a super valuable natural resource. So why is this such a big deal? Well, when all those food scraps get dumped and buried in a landfill, they're trapped without any oxygen. As they start to break down, they release methane, which is an incredibly potent greenhouse gas that's really, really bad for our climate. This is a massive problem that is totally preventable.
But here's the beautiful solution: composting. It lets that same organic material break down with oxygen, and it turns it into this rich, nutrient-packed soil. It's not waste at all. It's the beginning of new life. You are literally turning your trash into treasure that can help grow more food. So as we bring this all together, it becomes pretty clear that these 5 habits aren't just separate actions, right? They all connect. They create this powerful ripple effect that can truly transform our lives and our world for the better. I just love this because it captures the whole idea so perfectly. It's not about being perfect overnight. It's about the incredible power of all those small, consistent shifts adding up over time. Every single choice you make sends out a ripple. Let's just quickly recap this amazing synergy. A toxin-free home for you means cleaner water for the planet. Fresher food on your plate means fewer emissions in the air. Less clutter and waste for you means less plastic pollution in our oceans. And connecting with nature's cycles by composting creates healthier soil for everyone. See, it's not a trade-off, it's a beautiful partnership. So I'll leave you with this final thought. You don't have to tackle all of this at once. Just pick one thing. Maybe you'll switch your laundry soap, or maybe you'll start a little compost jar on your counter, or maybe you'll just make sure to put that reusable bag by the front door. The best place to start is with one small shift, today. Thanks so much for joining me.